What if a simple 25-cent coin sitting in your loose pocket change right now was secretly worth enough money to change your life forever? Welcome back to Coin Study, the ultimate place where we turn ordinary pocket change into extraordinary historical discoveries. Today, we are deep diving into one of the most fascinating, widely discussed, and unique modern coins ever released by the United States Mint, the 2021 Washington crossing the Delaware Quarter. Most people look at this coin, see the iconic historical image on the back, and spend it on a quick snack or throw it into a jar without a second thought. But if you watch this entire video from start to finish, you will learn exactly why collectors are actively hunting down specific versions of this exact coin, what rare mint mistakes and striking errors you need to look out for, and how the total collection value of these unique pieces ties into an absolutely jaw-dropping $800 million figure. To truly understand why this coin is so special, we have to look at its highly unique place in modern American history. The year 2021 was a massive transitional moment for United States pocket change. For over a decade, the U.S. Mint had been running the incredibly popular America the Beautiful Quarters program, which honored national parks and national sites across all 50 states and territories. When that multi-year program finally wrapped up in early 2021, the Mint found itself in a transitional period before launching their next major project, the American Women Quarters series, which began rolling out in 2022. To fill this brief gap, the U.S. Mint decided to issue a special, one-year-only type coin. That coin is the 2021 Washington crossing the Delaware Quarter. Because it was only produced for a single year, it completely stands out from the standard circulating quarters you are used to seeing in your daily life. Let us break down the physical visual details of this coin so you know exactly what you are holding when you check your wallet. On the front side of the coin, which coin collectors call the obverse, you will see a massive return to classic tradition. The Mint actually restored the world-famous left-facing portrait of President George Washington that was originally designed by the renowned sculptor John Flanagan all the way back in 1932. For over 20 years during the state quarters and national parks programs, this portrait had been modified, shrunk down, and heavily adjusted to make room for various inscriptions. But for this special 2021 release, the classic, bold, original style and formatting returned to exactly how it looked before 1999. You will see the heavy word Liberty written cleanly above Washington's head and the date 2021 boldly stamped directly below his neck. Now, flip the coin over to look at the back side, which collectors call the reverse. This is where the magic truly happens. Designed by Benjamin Sowards and beautifully sculpted by the medallic artist Michael Gaudioso, the reverse displays a deeply dramatic, powerful scene from the American Revolutionary War. It depicts General George Washington fiercely leading his cold, exhausted troops through an overnight crossing of the dangerously ice-choked Delaware River on December 25, 1776. This historic surprise attack led directly to the critical Battle of Trenton, a pivotal moment that saved the American Revolution from total collapse. In this beautifully detailed design, Washington stands tall near the left side of the frame, holding a drawn saber pointing toward the right as his boat cuts sharply through the freezing water. The background features a boat packed full of brave Continental soldiers fighting the elements to secure American freedom. Even though this coin looks like a beautiful commemorative token, the United States Mint produced them heavily for standard everyday circulation. They were struck at two primary domestic mint facilities for everyday commerce, the Philadelphia Mint, which leaves no mint mark or stamps a small P next to the portrait, and the Denver Mint, which stamps a prominent letter D. To give you an idea of just how many of these coins are out there floating around in cash registers, banks, vending machines, and car cup holders, the Philadelphia Mint alone struck an astronomical 998,800,000 examples. When you combine that massive output with the hundreds of millions produced by the Denver facility, you realize that well over 1 billion of these historic quarters were released into the wild. With over a billion of these coins running through the American economy, you might be asking yourself a very logical question. If there are literally a billion of them out there, how can any single one of them be worth a significant amount of money to a serious collector? The secret lies in two highly specific categories that every single viewer of Coin Study needs to memorize: extreme high-grade condition and rare mint production errors. When coins are minted at lightning-fast speeds of hundreds of pieces per minute, they slam into each other in massive collection bins, causing tiny scratches, scuffs, and dings known as bag marks. Because these coins are made of a metal blend of copper and nickel, they scratch very easily. Most of the quarters you find in your daily loose change are heavily circulated, meaning they have been touched by thousands of hands, dropped on pavements, and scratched up, rendering them worth exactly face value, 25 cents. However, if a coin managed to be saved directly from an original U.S. mint paper roll or a sealed canvas bag before ever entering public circulation, it might remain in what collectors call mint state or uncirculated condition. Professional coin grading organizations use a numerical scale ranging from 1 all the way up to a perfect 70. A standard uncirculated coin might grade around 63 or 65. But if you manage to find a spectacular specimen that grades at MS67, MS68, or a nearly mythical MS69, the value jumps up dramatically from a quarter to dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of dollars because finding a flawless coin among billions of struck pieces is incredibly rare. The second and most exciting way a 2021 crossing the Delaware quarter becomes highly valuable to collectors is through the discovery of bizarre, accidental mint errors. Because the machinery at the mint works under intense heat and immense mechanical pressure, things occasionally break down or shift out of place during production. Eagle-eyed collectors searching through their weekly pocket change have discovered some truly wild mistakes on these exact 2021 coins. One highly sought-after error is known as a die clash. This happens when the top and bottom metal coin dies smash directly into one another without a blank copper-nickel coin fed between them. When this occurs, the intense pressure causes the design of one side to accidentally imprint onto the opposite side. Collectors have found 2021 quarters where faint, ghostly outlines of George Washington's portrait or parts of the background letters are visible on the reverse side where the boat is crossing. Another very famous error to look out for is affectionately nicknamed the "In God We Trust" mistake. On the front of the coin, the historic national motto is supposed to clearly read "In God We Trust." However, due to heavy grease buildup inside the tiny crevices of the steel minting die, or due to a chipped piece of metal, the letter G can become filled or distorted, making it look exactly like a letter C. These unique variations can sell for premium prices on online auction platforms to buyers who love unusual design anomalies. You should also look closely at George Washington's face, his hair, and the text near the rocks on the reverse side. Collectors have verified multiple die chips, which look like raised, bumpy blobs of extra metal on Washington's chin, or on the crown of his hat, or along the edges of the river rocks. These small errors turn an ordinary coin into a highly prized historical treasure. This brings us to the jaw-dropping finale of our video, the ultimate point that connects the historical legacy of this coin directly to a massive economic figure. When you step back and calculate the sheer scale of the United States Mint's production for this specific 2021 release, the numbers become absolutely mind-boggling. When you look at the entire economic footprint of every single 2021 Washington crossing the Delaware quarter ever produced and distributed across the globe, the total legal tender face value of this massive, one-year-only historic coin run represents a staggering circulating value of over $800 million. Think about that for a second. An entire generation of American history, spanning nearly a billion individual pieces of silver-colored copper-nickel artwork, carries a massive collective value of $800 million moving quietly through the pockets of everyday citizens. Somewhere tucked away inside that massive $800 million ocean of circulating currency are the ultra-rare, high-grade condition specimens and the undiscovered mint-striking errors that are waiting to be found by someone paying close attention. It proves that massive historical and financial value is often hidden in plain sight right under our noses. Make sure you carefully examine every single 2021 quarter you receive from the grocery store, check those mint marks, look closely for die chips, and keep exploring with Coin Study. Please take a look at this helpful guide on U.S. Mint quarter errors and varieties to see real, highly detailed close-up examples of these specific modern coin errors.